So you know what I love about St. David? He's not a warrior saint, he's not a martyr saint, he's not even one of those miracle workers with a flair for pyrotechnics, although yes, he did perform miracles. But it's because he's a saint of patience and dedication. He said, be joyful, keep the faith, and do the little things. Gunie e petai becain. And if my Welsh was even vaguely possible, please let me know in the comments because I promise you I am absolutely trying my best. I mean, I've said it before, but it's absolutely shameful that I can speak bits of GCSE French and German, but not the languages that actually shaped this island. I mean, Welsh, Irish, Scottish, Cornish are other founding languages. We should be taught them in school. So if I have butchered it, please be gentle. Um, because I feel that St. David represents something that we have all forgotten how to value, that a country isn't built from grand speeches or viral moments, but from the culture that we choose to keep alive. St. David's message seems almost, I don't know, small compared to the chaos that we're living in now, compared to the noise and the outrage cycle and the constant feeling that culture only matters if it's dramatic. But he wasn't about drama. St. David's whole purpose was to remind people that small acts make nations, that devotion isn't loud and that belonging doesn't need to be broadcast. And what's incredible about him is that he is the only native born patron saint amongst the nations of Britain and Ireland. I mean, this video is part of my series on the traditions that built this country. And alongside the seasons, I wanted to honour the four patron saints of these islands. And I'm not a history channel, but I really do believe that you cannot really understand who we're becoming unless we look back at the foundations of who we once were, the beliefs that we held, and the rituals that we live by and that shaped these islands and shaped the English, Irish, Scottish, and Welsh cultures. So, whether you celebrate St. David's Day, whether you forgot it existed, whether you knew anything about it, or if, like me, you were never taught about it, or whether you're just here for the Welsh vibes, thank you so much for being here. So, who was St. David? Well, he didn't slay beasts or shout at kings. He was quiet and devoted, and somehow that still changed a nation. He was born in the 6th century, and legend says during a literal lightning storm. His mother, Sant Non, dedicated her life to God. St. David founded tons of monasteries across Wales at a time when Christianity was still this scrappy little grassroots thing. He founded monastic communities built not on power, but on discipline, poetry, and purity. Communities where the monks ate no meat, drank only water, and lived so austerely they made modern wellness trends look like all inclusive spa holidays. And they were basically the original medieval detox influencers, and yet somehow these incredibly well hydrated men still managed to build a movement strong enough to survive Viking raids and modern spiritual decline. So the iconic St. David moment is this. He was preaching to a huge crowd. People at the back couldn't see, and the ground literally rose up from beneath his feet so that everyone could hear him. The earth just rose up so that people could hear his message. I mean, how freaking cool is that? And in many depictions of St. David, a white dove sits beside him, a symbol of purity and peace. So we celebrate St. David's Day on March the 1st, the date of his death. But his presence in Wales predates borders, monarchs, and nations. He was Dewi Sant before the word Wales even existed. And to me, St. David isn't just a historical figure, he's a symbol of what it means to belong, to root yourself in place. His legacy wasn't added to Wales, it formed Wales. Legend says that a Welsh army on the eve of battle took St. David's advice and pinned leeks to their tunics or helmets to tell them apart from the Saxons. And apparently they won, being that St. David was not only a monk, but low-key a military tactician with a winning strategy for identifying your teammates and a passion for soup ingredients. Imagine going into battle with a leek on your helmet and still winning. Wales has always been that iconic. The leek became a Welsh national symbol, but the daffodil, she's the glamorous cousin, and she didn't really rise to fame until the 19th and 20th century when Prime Minister David Lloyd George, another patriotic David, promoted it as a prettier, more PR friendly alternative to wearing an entire vegetable on your chest. His body is buried at St David's Cathedral in Pembrokeshire, Wales, the smallest city in the UK, and it's still a pilgrimage site today and was declared one by Pope Calixtus II in 1120. Pope Calixtus II declared that 2 pilgrimages to St. David's Shrine equaled 1 pilgrimage to Rome. I mean, that's how spiritually significant he was. St. David became the patron saint of Wales because he embodied the Welsh soul. He taught us that paying attention to details, the little things, was strength. And he is the patron saint of steadfast nation building. And honestly, that feels more radical now than it did in the 6th century. Everything today is maximum noise, maximum reaction, and is only done for performance. Everyone's shouting their identity across an algorithm that just loses interest by lunchtime. And it's why celebrating St. David's Day matters even outside of Wales, because he gives us a way back to ourselves. Not through noise and not through nationalism as performance, but through staying true to our foundational beliefs and actions. He's the saint of being rooted, of choosing meaning over spectacle. And honestly, I think everyone in Britain could use a bit of that right now. So, although I am not Welsh, I do have a slight connection to Wales as my mum was born in Pembroke. So, happy St. David's Day to you all, whether you're Welsh or just Welsh at heart. I hope you enjoy your cool and your Welsh cakes and celebrate the incredible country that is Wales.